Blessed are we witches. All right. So this is going to be a weekend reading for April 25th and 26th, 2020. We are going to work with two decks. We're going to work with the Law of Attraction cards. Law of Attraction cards. And we are going to work with my Metamorphosis Oracle. So we'll do two decks and have fun. We're going to enjoy. And so I usually do weekend readings for my King's tier, for the subscribers to the King's tier. So every weekend they receive the reading to look at our weekend. But I felt compelled to share publicly. Well, hello, Christina. Well, hola, Esther. Esther, I've been meaning to reach out to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey, Callie. Yeah, so I felt compelled to share today publicly, free for all, and to have fun because I miss talking to you. This whole quarantine thing, which I absolutely appreciate. If that's what we need to do, obviously it is. It's it's a mind fuck, y'all. It's a mind fuck. Just and it's not necessarily having to be home, but it's more so like being very aware of how people just don't pay attention and people just don't care and people are not using their minds. You know what I mean? It was so weird yesterday because we had to go get some necessities. And just a few days ago, like there was nobody out. There was like nobody out, and the people who were out, they were wearing masks. They're doing, all the proper protocol. Yesterday, it was like everybody and their mama was out, and nobody was wearing a mask. No one was like. It baffles me. It baffles me. Well, hello, Stagehand J. Hello, Alyssa. Hey, Tanya. I hope everyone's doing well. Hey, Shawnette. Good to see you. Hey, Taryn. So, we're going to work with two decks, and we're going to prepare for our weekend. Again, these are cards for our weekend. They are energies and vibrations that we can work with, that we can utilize to perfect our life experience so we can, tap into it. And we don't allow cards to tell us, what's going to manifest. We pay attention to the energy, the information that is provided, and we use it to really tap into our life and what we want to really, experience. So we use it to our benefit. We use it to our advantage. Hey, Sharon. I hope you are safe, Sharon. New York. Yeah. My uncle, I think is in Long Island right now. Hey, Stacy. Okay. So we'll shuffle. So take some time, y'all. Take some time to round as best as you can. Find your center, whether it be center of head or center of heart. Place yourself inside, right? Find your center. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your heartbeat. Whew. Yes. Focus and just tune in with your body. Tune in with what you need right now, with who you are, where you are. And really just be very present. Give yourself this time. Call in your spirits, your allies, your ancestors, your gods, whoever you call in. And, ask them to be present right now. Ask them to help you and help us co-create this reading together, right? You could message me, Ashley. Just message the page, for sure. Message the page, and I'll respond to when I can. I'm doing this right now, and then I have a training video that I'm doing after this. But yeah, I'll get back to you by the end of the day. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, or 3. Go ahead and comment or write it down. The first number that pops into your head, 1, 2, or 3. And please realize the way I do this, all three cards are part of our reading. All three cards, help us take a general understanding of our weekend, But when I ask you to choose a card, the first card that pops into your head, the first card that you hear, the first card that you just, feel compelled to work with, know that that card is a dominant influence, a dominant card, and the other two cards are supporting cards for that dominant card. So it just helps you take a general reading and make it a little more personal. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of, I like doing it that way. That way it gives you a little more personalized information. So 1, 2, or 3, go ahead and comment. Hello, Susie. Hello, Leanne. Hello, Jen. And we'll see. And again, we're working with the Law of Attraction cards. We are working with my Metamorphosis Oracle. And we will see what pops up. Okay. Let's see. There's that. 1, 2, or 3. And again, remember, this is your experience. This is your experience. So really, you don't have to comment. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. You're more than welcome to. This is a safe place for all. So you're more than welcome to. But if you want to keep it to yourself, just write it down, take notes. And that's all that matters is your experience here. So 1, 2, or 3. And let us look into this. So, okay. 1, 2. Okay. 3. Y'all, I have cards everywhere. And we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. So, are you ready? Well, happy early birthday. Yes. Okay. And if I don't respond to comments, I apologize. Like, that's how that goes. And if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm looking at comments. Okay, so stack 1. Again, this is dominant for those who chose stack 1 or cards 1, and supporting for those who did not. And please, this is our time together, so feel free to share your thoughts and share what you feel and whatever comes up for you. This is, again, a co-creative process, so we get to engage. Okay. First card of card stack 1. I will not attempt to control others' experiences. So I will not attempt to control others' experiences. So rather than trying to control the experiences of all others, which you cannot do no matter how hard you try, instead, intend to control your own participation within those experiences. I'm going to read that again because I feel like that's really important. So instead, intend to control your own participation, right, within those experiences. And by setting forth your clear image of the life you want to live, you will be guided in every moment toward a smooth and pleasant path for yourself. So how does that make you feel? What pops up for you? And don't mind the lighting. It's natural light. It's just crazy. So I'm going to look like Casper for a minute, and then it's going to, I don't know. Don't mind it. It's all good. That's not what matters. So I will not attempt to control others' experiences, rather than trying to control the experiences of all others, which you cannot do no matter how hard you try. Instead, intend to control your own participation within those experiences. And by setting forth your clear image of the life you want to live, you will be guided in every moment toward a smooth and pleasant path for yourself. So what pops up? How does that make you feel? I really like this card. I'll get into the second part of it in a second, but I really like what it's expressing because it reminds us of our participation in our life experience. It reminds us that, you know what? We don't need to seek to control other people. We don't need to seek to control how other people are behaving. So it reminds me of what I expressed about yesterday. All these people were out and it was making me mad. But then I realized it's like, look, that's them. That's what they are creating. That is their, ignorance, whatever. I am not going to allow myself to focus on being frustrated by them. I'm going to focus on being me. I'm going to focus on, I need to be out. I need to do these things. I'm wearing a mask. I'm doing all this stuff that I need to be doing to practice safety, right? So instead of focusing on them, I'm focusing on myself and how I participate in this life. So I feel, again, I will not attempt to control others' experiences. So it's very important that we realize, like, you know what? Let's bring it back in here. Again, it helps us to empower ourselves. It helps us to really release the anxiety that is placed upon us or projected to us from outside source. And so when we realize, like, look, what do I want for myself? What do I want to experience? What do I want to invest in? Let me focus on that. Let me focus on what it is I want to surround myself with to feel whatever type of feeling I want to feel. And when I give myself the opportunity to focus on myself, how I engage with my world, how the story that I write for myself and my reality, the way I design it, when I focus and give time to that, then everything else, right, falls into place for me. So what other people are doing is not affecting me and is not taking me away from how I want to feel. Because you know what? That's on them. That is their story. They can create the way they want. I'm creating my own way, right? Does that make sense? So running Amazon ads for the first time, maybe just letting what will be, trust the process and learn from the data instead of trying to tweak and change things too early. Yeah. And really, it's like, you know what? I will not attempt. So again, that's really good. Instead of trying to control, again, how, it's going to be received, instead of trying to control all of these other things, it's like, you know what? It is about trusting the process. It is about letting go. It's like you can only do so much. You can only learn and receive so much data. In the end, you have to really trust what you invest in. So focus on how you want to be well received. Focus on your part in it, and stop listening and stop, allowing for other things to take you away from what you feel. And Heather's an author, y'all. So she got some books that I'm actually about to acquire. I need to, because I've been meaning to. Send us the links. So thank you. This is actually for sale. I snagged it so I can advertise it. I love it. But yeah, so we have, I will not attempt to control others' experiences. In my ancestral language, we greet each other by saying, nice, I like it. So keep that in mind. And this is co-creating with the second part of this is Black, absorber. So Black, banishing, powerful magics, secrecy, allure, channeling, what lies beneath. So Black. So how do these two, co-create? So we have, I will not attempt to control others' experiences, and we have secrecy. We have, banishing. We have, what lies beneath. We have what is hidden, what is deeply, what is beneath the surface, what is, playing deep within. Well, hello, Marion. Hello, Tom. I think that part of what this collective quarantine experience is teaching many people. That's what part. Yeah, absolutely. Or trying to anyways. So with the co-creative part, with Black, absorber, we realized, what, instead of trying to control another person or how things are going to happen for other people, I need to really focus on me. And then in regards to banishing, right? In regards to banishing, I need to let go and release the things that, again, I have no control over, but also the things that, I seek to not be a part of. So I'm banishing the obstacles. I'm banishing the friction, the challenges. I'm banishing the chaos that is in my way for attaining my own joy, my own happiness, right? Well, hello, Circle of Light Reiki. Hello. So, and it's also saying, you know what, it's a time of taking power. It's a time of taking control of your own life situation, right? So we realize, again, stop paying attention to what other people are saying right now, especially with something that you're really passionate about. It's important that we take into consideration what we love. Yes, we receive data from outside source, but ultimately we need to trust our own instincts. We need to, invest into where we are headed, what we are passionate about, and banish the obstacles that are in our pathway to attaining what it is we want to experience. And again, that is at times the obstacles and the objects that people place in our path when they might even mean well, but their words, their words hurt us, or their words kind of like, oh, rub us the wrong way, or make us feel some type of way. And so it's letting go of that, releasing it. Boom. And what's beneath the surface? Why do I want to control how people experience their own reality? Why do I want to, what am I participating in regards to seeking to control other people's experiences, right? Why? And I think that's also a key here, because when I think of Black, dark, internal, I think of like shadow work. So it could be, It could be that it's important that we do some shadow work pertaining to whatever it is that we are experiencing right now. So it could be that, you know what, I need to look at myself. And I need to really be very, very aware, right, of my own, manipulative experiences and creations in regards to what I'm feeling, right? Well, hello, Teresa. So, like wearing black crystals for protection, black tourmaline or obsidian to absorb negativity. Yes, and transmute it. Exactly. I love that. Thank you. We'll just do this. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. This one. So, yeah, it absolutely is. And again, if I think of like black obsidian, that again ties into ancestral wisdom. Black obsidian is great for protection, but it's a little aggressive as well. It's great for psychic surgery and things like that. So if you think about it, it's like, look, I'm focusing on myself and I'm focusing on delving deep and maybe facing some things that are coming up for me that are not necessarily that pretty, but necessary. So give ourselves some time right now. So when things are unearthed, they have the potential to be very heavy. Like, be compassionate to yourself, be patient with yourself, and don't get too frustrated, right? Give yourself time to work with the energies that are being produced right now. So right, so cards two, let's see, cards two. I just had a thought. I wonder if that's why black is a mourning color. When someone dies, we usually spend a lot of time in retrospect. Yeah, absolutely. And if we think about it with black, it's like we're going within. Yeah, absolutely. We're turning in, and we're feeling the feels, and we're kind of shutting the outside world out in a sense. So yeah. So card two, dominant. I can't talk. Dominant for those who chose card two. This is part one of it. Bird's nest shrine. That's cute. I like that. I can learn to prioritize my intentions. Interesting, y'all. So I can learn to prioritize my intentions. It is important for you to identify which intentions you most want to fulfill, because as you prioritize, you give your singular attention to what is most important. And as you give that your singular attention, by the law of attraction, you attract power unto that intention that is most important to you. So how does that make you feel? It blends really well with the previous cards, don't you think? So I can learn to prioritize my intentions. How does that make you feel? What pops up for you? Let's talk. So I can learn to prioritize my intentions. And it's really saying, again, we're going back to focusing on ourselves. But it's also looking to remind us that, you know what, we can achieve whatever it is we set out to achieve. We can attain these things, right? But if we're trying to accomplish 500 things at one time, we are not giving those 500 things the best of ourselves, and we probably won't accomplish any one of them, right? Because we're running ourselves thin. And so it's important. This card is definitely saying that, you know what, right now it's very important for us to be very aware of what it is we are trying to achieve. And you guys write it down, make a list. I used to hate lists, but now I'm like, okay, I'll make a list. I like lists. So make a list. What are all the things that you want to put out there? What are all the things that you want to achieve and attain? And then just instead of 500, maybe like 2 or 3. Narrow it down, right? Narrow it down and focus on a few things that you really want to invest in. Focus on a few things that you really want to give life to. Right? So I can learn to prioritize my intentions is expressing I can control myself better than I can control others. Absolutely. I've been working with Oracle cards daily and writing in my journal. Awesome. Jack of all trades, master of none. Exactly. And so it's really important that we, again, It's not like we can't achieve things. It's not saying that we can't do the things we want to do. It's saying right now, again, with all the energy that is out there, with all the things that are manifesting right now, it's important for us to focus, yes, focus on what you can control. And what we can control is prioritizing what we really want to manifest and invest in our life, what we want to experience for ourselves. And so make a list and narrow it down to a few things and invest yourself into those few things. Keep everything on your list that you want to achieve and revisit that ever so often and say, I'm working on these three things right now, and the other things are still there. And then go back to your list and say, okay, well, I've accomplished this. Cool, check. I'm still working on this, and look at the rest. I don't really want to do this anymore. Check that off and put something else at the top of the list. Does that make sense? And so again, this allows us to focus in on putting energy into the things we want to make happen. And then when we can focus that energy on manifesting and achieving these things, right, then boom, we make them. I just like saying boom. Well, hello, Jade Phoenix. So I like that. I like. You guys, I haven't had enough coffee, so bear with me. I really enjoy this because it's reminding me, you guys, it's reminding me of a personal situation where I love astrology. It's a challenge to me. So it hurts my head sometimes because I'm like, I want to get this. And it's like, it's been so hard to comprehend or blending, but I still want it. So I'm investing myself into learning. There's other things I want to learn, but I put them on the back burner because astrology for me is what really makes my heart sing. It's really, it makes me feel really good. And so other things are still on my list, but they're not taking my priority, right? I'm investing myself into astrology, right? And I'm making it happen, right? So don't spread your energy too thin. Having too much going on, more energy for a couple items at a time. Exactly. And again, it's reminding us, look, we can achieve whatever. We can have all this shit on our list and accomplish it when we want. But let's first take the first few things, right? The first few things that we want to invest in. And then as we invest in these things, we become different. And so we might not want to accomplish certain things that have been on our list. So we can check them out, check them off. So relevant while in isolation, we get lost in what is important because everything feels so overwhelming because we have gone from such busy lives to very little and blowing things out of proportion due to nothingness. Yes, and this is a very interesting time. I've expressed this before, but there's so many people right now, so many people who don't have a job right now, right? But have time to really think and do whatever it is they desire. So all of these people are no longer working for the man. They're no longer, in this routine. And so all of these energies, this vibration, people are tuning within. They're understanding more about how they work, how they interact with their world. They're understanding more about themselves. And that's very powerful. It's a powerful energy that all of us are tapping into right now. It can be very overwhelming. But with that understanding, we can direct that and we can utilize it to our advantage, right? So, yeah, I've been working for 19 years on a book of shadows that is definitely Wiccan, but also Chicks Connection Indian Tribe. First thing I had to do was learn to speak. Awesome. I love that. Good. Okay. So that's the first card in stack 2. Oh shit, that's the wrong card. The second card is this. Don't we love it? The Deviant Forsaken. I love the word Forsaken. It reminds me of the Queen of the Damned soundtrack. I love the word Forsaken. It just, I don't know, it just does something for me. So the Deviant Forsaken, strange magic, challenge the flow, a voice for those who cannot speak. So it is, you know what? There are times when there are certain individuals, certain energies that cannot speak for themselves or don't feel empowered enough to speak. And sometimes it is upon us to express, and speak for those who cannot speak and to speak for those who want to say something, but at the current time just cannot. They don't feel comfortable or confident enough to do something about a situation. So it is up to those who can voice their opinions and concerns to voice them. So what does that say to you? Again, the deviant forsaken, a voice for those who cannot speak strange magic and challenge the flow. It's coupled with I can learn to prioritize my intentions. And I actually really like that because it's reminding us like, look, my intentions, what I'm prioritizing, it really needs to be about what is important to me, what makes me unique, what my specific viewpoint. And kind of, Heather, it kind of goes back to your ad thing, your ad, making Amazon ads, or ads for anything. Yes, you have to pay attention to a formula that has worked for other people, but also it's about it's about strange magic and challenging the flow. So it's also about putting your spin on things. It's about altering these ads or altering the formula, right, in a different way. So it's kind of like that. So it's like, speaking up for who we are. So maybe our inner child, maybe we need to speak up and step into something right now and prioritize the healing voice of our inner child. It's also, what, this flow, rolling with the homies. This flow is the common flow, and just because it's common, just because this is how things have been handled forever, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean I just follow it. I have to question. I have to ask, like, why are we doing this? Why are things done this way? And from asking those questions, we comprehend more. We get more of an understanding of like, oh, this is why it works, And then when I understand that this is how it works, I'm able to really, again, it goes back to prioritizing yourself and your intention. So if you're trying to learn something and you put that on your list, then it's really important, instead of going with the flow of the class, instead of going with this is how things. Ooh, there's a hummingbird. Cute. I wish I could share that with you. So cute. It's so green. Oh my gosh. So ask questions, challenge the flow, and not in a disrespectful way, but in a way because you're inquisitive and you want to know how things work so you can better comprehend, how it's going to work for you, right? So okay. Well, hello, Tori. Welcome. Not being afraid to speak up for yourself, but not if it's for the purpose of controlling other people. You can't control yourself by controlling other people. Challenge the flow. Yes, exactly. I like that. Exactly, Sarah. Rolling with my homies. Stepping away from the crowd. It seems that the crowd impedes flow. I like. Oh, yes. Advocating in a way to reduce friction. I like that too. That's good. I like it. So I think the deviant forsaken, it's like, what? We also have to realize it goes back to the initial cards where we have to do our own thing. And when we do our own thing, and when we learn in our own way, and when we focus on what makes us happy, understand that the outside world starts to shift. The outside world starts to react or respond. And sometimes it's really, really good. And sometimes it's god awful, right? But because we are learning to focus on what is important to us and not controlling other people, the way the outside world responds to our internal change and our prioritizing of ourselves, right? It's not influencing us as intensely. And so we do become the forsaken in a sense. We become, the unique. We become those who challenge the flow. And so this is a good thing because we're learning to embody who we are and trust our flow. And as we embody who we are, and as we trust ourselves, and as we step into our own power, then it whatever it does to the outside world, it gives the outside world something to work with, something to work with. It gives the outside world new ways to comprehend things, whether they choose to believe the same things or not. It's this vibration that is emitted from us. Boom, there's a change, and it makes people think, whether they confirm what they think or not. It puts out a great energy that challenges that flow. And it's a great time. It's a great time for us, again, right now, to prioritize and focus in on what makes us happy, right? So, well, hello, Jessica. Welcome. Never late, always on time. That's what I say. Okay, so cards 3. Yes, we're gonna do 3. Cards 3. The first aspect of this is I can create castles as easily as buttons. Buttons. I think there's a damn Pussycat Doll song that something about buttons. Why did that pop into my head? Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I can create castles as easily as buttons. So when you understand the laws, when you understand that it is not more difficult to create a castle than it is a button, they are equal. It is not more difficult to create $10 or $10, $10 million, than 100,000, 100 million, whatever. It is the same application of the same law to two different intentions. Exactly, Heather. One person's late is another witch's grand entrance. I like that. So what is that saying to you? So I can create castles as easily as buttons. When you understand the laws, then you understand that it is not more difficult to create a castle than it is a button. Button. Say it with me, button. They are equal. It is not more difficult to create 10 million than 100,000. It is the same application of the same law to two different intentions. Your positive's been on some pretty dark cards. Thanks. Well, it's transformation. Ooh. Think of the caterpillar and the butterfly. Everyone is dropping shells and masks to become their best self, and that can be scary. Exactly. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, and then that always grosses me out because like the caterpillar does the cocoon thing, and it like gets boiled and it turns into gooey, sloppy stuff, and then it forms into the butterfly. That's so gross, but so cool. Yeah, it's messy. Messiness can lead to beauty and flight. So I can create castles as easily as buttons. How does that make you feel? What comes up for you? So, well, Amanda, it's time to listen. It's kind of like what I say in writing. Once you learn why the rules exist, you know how to break them to achieve what you want. I like that. Yes, absolutely. And again, it's learning. And it's learning, again, it goes back to all of the previous cards, which I'm really enjoying about this reading today. For the weekend as well. This is our weekend reading. So again, it's a learning about who you are and what your priorities are, right? And when you learn your priorities, you can create within that dynamic. If you want to manifest, let's say, $10,000, right? You're in a space right now where you can manifest that. That's your scope. That's your mind. Your beliefs set that out, right? So you wouldn't attempt to manifest 100,000, but you would, because what you're manifesting is 10. That's what you want. And another connection here is the way you go about it. 10,000, 100,000. It's the same technique. It's the same application. The thing that really sets the tone is our beliefs, our programming, what we believe in ourselves, or what we believe that we are capable of. So if we start to adhere to the fact that the application of attaining these things is the same, then it opens a pathway that, oh, well, then I can manifest whatever it is I want. So if I want 100,000, then I can do that. I have that power, I have the ability. And obviously we work through different beliefs, different things that hold us back from attaining that, but we realize we can still attain that, right? And so there's no, like, this is not harder than the other. It's simply we are working with our energy, our beliefs, our vibration to manifest that which we seek and that which we want, to bring into our lives. And something is not easier than another because the technique, the application, the way to get it is the same. So once you learn to spin stuff in it, and it's just your imagination that holds you back. Exactly. I like that. Exactly. So this card is coupled with south, south, hot winds. The south card. So we have desiccating, we have free, we have the destroyer, adventure, energy, and present moment, right? Desiccating, free, destroyer, adventure, energy, present moment. South, hot winds. It's coupled with I can create castles as easily as buttons. How does that make you feel? What do you think about South and adventure and energy and the destroyer? The destroyer pops out for me. The destroyer, because we are destroying old programming. We're bringing fire, right, to old patterns of mental application. Look, I don't have to, if the more that I hold myself back, the more that I do myself a disservice. And so I'm going to destroy this old paradigm, this old program, this old world that I applied myself to, because I'm applying myself and I'm learning to prioritize that I'm choosing to have a better life experience. And this is what it means for me. And so by choosing that, I'm going to learn and challenge the flow, right? I'm going to totally go to a different place now. It reminds me, like, growing up, my dad is still a very hard worker, but working, didn't have a lot of money. And there was a lot of beliefs around money. Only the rich have money. You have to work really, really hard just to get a little. And you're not able to receive these things because you're just a Mexican. You're just a brown person who will always have to struggle, right? Because the world views you a certain way. So there's a lot of different beliefs that I, growing up, I was in here. It was struggle. It was a lot of struggle. But then I realized, look, I don't have to adhere to that. That's not true. That is the truth for those who create that. That is the truth for those who want to step into that and utilize that to paint their reality. But I'm not going to be a part of that anymore. I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm going to be a part of a solution because I want better for my life. And so I have to figure out how to make that happen. And so I have learned, and I'm still learning, to eradicate those early beliefs and programmings, to work through that. And again, they're not always negative in the sense, like, it's like they're not saying you can't achieve this because you're a terrible person. They're basing their beliefs on their programming and how they were raised and how society was at that time, and so there's a valid essence in what they were expressing, but we don't have to adhere to it. We get to challenge the flow. We get to say, no, not me, not my life. I am not judging your life if that's what you're choosing to create, but that's not mine. And so understanding, I'm destroying the disconnection from being able to manifest $10,000 and $100,000. I am destroying the programming that says that, you know what, because you are this, this, and this, you cannot achieve this, this, and this. I'm destroying that. We are destroying that. So that's kind of what the cards are saying. That's what the cards are expressing. Look, we get to destroy the things that hold us back. And so it's also saying this weekend, it's very important that we prioritize and we look at whatever it is that, whatever it is that we are prioritizing, whatever it is that we are manifesting, we seek for ourselves. Let's look at that, right? Write it down. And then what beliefs, what programs are associated with that right now that are holding us back? And then when we understand the programs, the beliefs, the patterns that are holding us back, we can work to eradicate them. We can bring that south hot wind in to destroy, right? To let go and release these beliefs. And we get to focus more on the beliefs that we need to set ourselves up for success, right? Old belief systems holding us back from manifestations. Kalima, destruction for new creation. I love that. Our parents are from work hard culture. We are more work smarter, not harder. Exactly. There's nothing. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. There's nothing wrong with working hard if that's what you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But also work smarter, invest yourself into the work that you do. Be proud of it, love it. And yeah. Yeah. I like the cards. Okay, so let's summarize all this. I really like the cards for our weekend. Again, it's reminding us to focus on what we love, what we want, who we are. Don't worry about the outside world. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Focus here, because you know what? We owe that to ourselves. We want to invest our energy into ourselves. We want to create something really wonderful. We want to love. We want to enjoy beauty. We want to do all the good things for us. And you know what? When we take our energy away from worrying about the outside world, we take our energy away from controlling them, we start to look at ourselves and we get to have more fun with what we want. We get to have more fun with what we invest in. And so there's all of these great things we get to do when we start to unplug from the sources we don't need to invest in and start to plug back into ourselves and focus on this, ourselves, our beauty, and what inspires us. And then, we need to prioritize. We can attain all of that shit that we want, but let's narrow it down. Let's get a few things on that list. Make a huge list, y'all. If you want to make a huge list, make a huge list, and then boom, a few things. Focus on the few things, on getting that, and then realize, whatever's on your list, you can achieve it all. One thing is not more important than the other. One thing is not harder than the other. It is all requiring the same application. So if you've ever manifested and created in your life, you can do anything. You can do anything. All right. So that's our weekend reading. Oh my gosh, you guys, that freaked me out. The hummingbird, just like it was like right there, and they go so fast, like boom, it's like black. Oh, well, the shadow. That was creepy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I really enjoy our time together. I really appreciate you. I do, and I hope that you can utilize this and meditate with it and pull from it what you desire, what you need, and take action, because you're capable of greatness, each and every one of us, right? So yeah, have fun. Have fun. I will talk to you. I will talk to you soon. Heather, I need some books. I probably should just go like research it and figure out myself, but I'm gonna probably message you later. Because I'm being lazy, I guess. But yeah, so anywho, y'all, I'm going. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Blessed be.